The Scotch
right?
ending.
Yes.
Yeah.
96. I mean, it's not like draw is a bad result for him.
No.
Bishop d3.
And these days, everybody's playing d5 in castles, not recapturing on d5.
I don't remember seeing Magnus playing this with the white pieces, though.
I'm trying to recall as well. I don't. Miro, do you remember Magnus playing this ending with the white pieces?
No, not really.
Not
I mean,
offhand,
he
right?
might have played, because with so many games they are playing, and online games and so on and so forth, but like not in any major event.
For those of you who aren't aware, we are still in the throes of a theory. It may look like the move f2, f3 will lead to...
It looked like, sorry, Magnus touched d pawn, but he didn't quite. He was like touching the pawn, let go, and then he switched to f3.
Right. This is still all standard theory.
Still theory, yes.
Queen takes c3.
Bishop f4, queen c6. Yeah. And we like two bishops. There's still 38 games in the database.
That's a lot. 38.
Yeah. So where's on move 15? I think queen goes to e2 or d2. Oh, h3 I haven't seen. This might be a novelty.
Well, I was about to say...
It is a novelty.
Bishop to g6, getting rid of the two bishops. That's a big plus, I want to say. Rook d8, bishop takes d3, c takes d3, knight d5. I find nothing objectionable about black's position whatsoever. I think.
Well, there's a c7 pawn, but it'll get traded for d3.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking as well. I'm capturing the bishop. I'm playing knight d5, and maybe parking my queen on either a6 or a4. And I feel that I've sufficiently equalized.
For sure.
Rook e8.
Dude, I chose a different plan. Rook e8. Queen f2. Well, he can go queen c3 maybe and just trade the pawns right away. Oh.
Queen c3.
Yes.
Okay.
You can take e8 because a1 is hanging.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if you go queen c3, rook e8, rook c1, I don't mind trading the d pawn for the a7 pawn, because then I would get a pass a pawn. Knight d5, as we've seen.
Bishop g3. I was expecting actually bishop e5 just to stop queen c3 from happening.
You like the idea of posting up on c3. Nothing wrong with that, truly. I'm more of the queen a6, let me put my pawn on c6. You know, the safe school of chess. By the way,
e6.
Let me put my pawn on light squares so that, you know, that the pawn's not vulnerable. a6 is a decent move. Rook e4.
Magnus wants to double the rooks.
Strategically speaking, it would be a howler of a mistake to help white.
Because then white would just end up a pawn. Your c7 pawn won't survive for too long.
Exactly. Queen b5.
Well, we expect rook e1. Maybe
Yes.
asking black a question. Do you want to take on e4?
Similarly, queen on f2 is now transferred to a much more active square. By the way, not for nothing, I'm not sure that knight b4 was a threat. I doubt it was a threat. But it's always nice when you keep reducing your opponent's options, right?
Absolutely. And we also have some new ideas. Rook g4, bishop e5. We can look at the king side now.
Absolutely. No, I like bishop. If I could get my opponent to play f6, provoke the move f6, make some weaknesses around on the king side. I like your rook g4, bishop e5 ideas. I like including the rook on a1 into the game, rook to e1, rook to c1. And it feels like Magnus has made progress.
Yeah, I think maybe Duda combined too many ideas.
I don't like this rook e8.
Yeah, starting with that move was probably a mistake.
Okay, I think we're about to see rook to e1.
Or c1, both of them look good.
The reason I was playing rook e1, I had the threat. I
Right.
guess
Black
you're going to play
plays
c6
yeah.
in any case.
But bishop e5 maybe provoke f6.
Agreed. a4. I'm indifferent to that move.
I don't think it changes anything.
Sometimes, you know, when you don't strike, the right opportunity. And bishop e5 looked like you've done everything.
Right.
You've done the best you could. Get it.
Sometimes the moment passes and then it's too late.
Right.
But rook d8, I think Duda
Something has gone wrong.
said, okay, rook e8 was a mistake. I'm going to take that back.
And by the way, again, Magnus has eschewed bishop e5. I don't know why. I really think it was important to provoke f6. Okay, queen c5. Clock times. For these two
3.5 against 2.5, so extra minute for Magnus.
Okay.
I'm still going to keep saying bishop e5 until it happens. It's such a good move. I want to also, after f6 now, I'll keep the bishop on this diagonal maybe.
On the long diagonal?
Exactly.
Okay. I will play bishop e5.
Looks like I'll be saying that until this game is over.
Nice.
Because Magnus is not making that move. He has different ideas. Does he want to play? I'm not sure what his idea is, to be honest.
Well put. I don't either. I don't like the move rook d4 per se.
Do we have anything in this endgame?
Well, I noticed that Duda played a6, which I thought was very good to leave the pawn on the light square. But now that you've put the pawn on a5,
it's something, yes, but
maybe.
I don't know. Black has such active knight, and the other rook now can go to e8 and come to e2.
By the way, I mean, it just we've been saying, what if Magnus wins? What if Magnus wins? But a draw is not that bad for Magnus. I mean, he stops the guy who's closest to him. Rook to c5 asks some salient question. Aha.
Knight b4 exists, defending a5 and attacking d3. What do we do? Rook d4?
Makes a lot of sense. Rook to d4. On a good day, we get to play rook to d6.
Maybe. Oh, I was going to go back rook e8.
This bishop needs a better life. I'm just not sure if it's better on the long diagonal. I liked your idea a moment ago. I'm with you. That whole bishop e5, rook g4. Ah, look at that. We provoked the weakness. f6. h4. And again, we love doing these little things as white because now the g7 pawn is a perpetual liability. Whenever we get into any minor piece ending, black's king might be stuck.
Defending those pawns, because if bishop makes it to f8, that'll be game over.
Exactly.
I mean, Magnus is cruising here. Of course, it's a small advantage, but he can maneuver for a long time. Oh, do you want to play rook d7?
I don't know. I was thinking about
giving up a5 is a bit risky.
Agreed.
So maybe king h3, just improve on the king side as much as you can.
Exactly. King h3, king g3.
Maybe
somehow,
g4, yeah.
Yeah, somehow include a little bit more space. Magnus is on the sunny side. I just don't know how bright is the advantage.
But we know that it's unpleasant to play defense for a long time, especially with low time on the clock. So it's easy to slip up for black here. And what is the idea of rook c4?
Give me the knight. I wanted to take and take.
But you can't. There is c5. Pawn c5 at the end now.
Yes,
yeah,
that was the fork.
Duda played rook c7, yeah.
Now I can't. Okay. Improving.
Yeah, black needs to just stand and wait. Rook a6, rook a6, just go back and forth. You don't have any other better improving moves, right?
Agreed. But white does. White has a number of ways of improving his position. Bringing his king closer, advancing on the king side. I'm not saying g4, f4, f5, and planting a rook on e6 is frightening in any measure, but it's something for white.
c5 is a commitment now, because that pawn on the dark square will always be under attack. But he calculated some concrete line. He's going to trade c5 for d3. And you're not losing a pawn? Rook b5, right? b3?
I think we play rook to b3. You go a5, and then I go rook a3. So I think I play rook to b3 here.
Rook
You
b7 check.
a5. Yeah, king g8.
Yeah, you have to drop to g8, which is not ideal.
Yeah, I think
What
this
about
is
king
easy.
f4 right now? It got a question. Rook b3 got a question mark.
Really?
It's apparently not a good move.
Rook to b1.
King f4.
Rook to b1.
And is the king fast enough?
Rook
But
to
Magnus missed that
b6.
opportunity. He played rook b6.
Okay, rook to b2. Give me the pawn. I want to play as black b3 and rook a2
Yes.
and make a draw.
That would be the quickest way to draw.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think white has anything here left.
But Miro, did you think rook b7 check would have given Magnus anything significant?
You mean after rook b3? King f4 was even a better move.
And was it something significant?
Well, computer gives 1.4, but you never know in such
1.4.
positions. It can be 1.4 that wins or 1.4 that it's just a draw with an extra pawn. You know, so needs investigation.
I think Duda's calculating king e6. I personally would not want to lose both g7
I'll go back
and
to
h6.
f8.
Yeah.
And update, Ali Reza has just defeated Gukesh.
I'm really stunned by the decision to jettison the g7 pawn. I thought king g8, king h7 was safe.
Well, looks like this is also safe.
Really?
Yeah.
Rook takes g7, why is it safe?
Just rook a2.
Rook a2,
We're gonna
rook
see players play this.
a7,
And,
king d5? I don't know.
or just, yeah, king d5 and start going. Or b3. Rook b7? Is he just giving up the pawn? Yes.
Did it?
And cutting off the king, rook b5.
King to d6 to c6? That should be an easy draw, just
Yeah, this
trying
is-
to push the rook
Well,
away.
Just don't let my king get to g6. That would be a
Whoa.
surprising decision. He wants to
can't-
just defend 3 versus 2.
Okay, I
It's
would
still a draw,
probably
though.
play rook to a5 in this case. Whoa. No, I'm afraid I'm losing. Rook to g4 and rook to g6?
I think you are now. Rook a7 was a huge mistake.
What the heck? I mean, dude, just
Is Magnus about to win the tournament?
king h4.
He
I think he is. He's a,
Rook goes to g6. That's it. I'm winning the second pawn.
it's ridiculous. Rook to g6. Dude has
Wow.
just blundered the game away. It's over.
G4 was apparently a mistake. No longer winning for white.
You
We
didn't
spoke too
need-
soon.
I think you're still winning, by the way.
Not according to the engine.
Really?
Yeah.
White rook
That's
is
a
trapped. It's not
funny
coming
that's a
out.
funny fortress. that
Because the
I
only way you
think-
can come out is by playing g5.
Yeah,
And then you get
I've
FNH.
seen it
Oh.
sometimes. Yeah, it's a funny.
Can
fortress.
Magnus win the FNH second?
on a
I
second
think we-
attempt? But
On the second attempt. Oh my goodness. So G4 was G4, he
Mistake,
ensnared his own rook.
Yes. I mean,
Oh.
both players were playing with 2 seconds, so hard to judge them. And I think, practically speaking, maybe he still has some chances here? Or is this easily holding for black?
I wouldn't say easily.
I also saw that Fabi defeated Prague.
Wow. A big win for our tour players there.
Yeah, they're playing
Fabi,
for those points, GCT points.
which with all of his rivals making draws,
No, Duda will still have a chance to catch him, right?
will he? Okay.
Rook
Magnus has got
A7.
one last trick
One
up his
last test,
sleeve.
King
He
has
wants to
King
give
has
a
to go
back
to g8.
rank mate,
You have to go on the short side, right?
right?
If you want to e8, then it's technically winning endgame.
King
This
to
is a
F7.
draw. But actually, I've seen this go wrong too. It can happen if you don't know how to draw this. Of course, Duda knows, but with 5 seconds,
Yeah, you got to play like
yeah,
you know
Rook
your
b6
math
was the
tables.
only move, by the way.
yes,
Yeah.
he knows how to defend this. Rook e6, check. You can give another check or play king h7.
Duda needs to hold this game to prevent Magnus from clinching the tournament.
Rook drops back. Yeah, now we just give checks from the side.
Exactly. As many
Just
checks
don't take
as we
too much
can.
time. Don't forget about your clock.
Exactly. Keep checking.
Here, I think you have to just go. You can give another check, actually.
King G6 looks pretty.
Oh, that works too, because now Rook C8 check and Rook F8.
Yes.
And that will be a draw.
Rook F8, King E6 though. Rook
Rook
B1.
B1.
Magnus is giving every last draw. That's funny. Rook A1. the mad rook position.
King G7, correct?
Threatening King F8.
All right, now they're going to agree to a draw.
Rook. He promotes to Rook.
Nice save by Duda.
Wow. Applause. I was shocked how poorly Duda was seizing the defensive there, and if Magnus had not played G4, he would have clinched first. We don't have a clear winner yet, but what happened in the other games?